This is Cinema Freaks Live. I'm Larry. This is Colin.
Hi, aka the Observer.
Yes.
Robert, you're finally seeing me in the flesh.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm not some 300-pound fat guy.
We're gonna send you away from here again after this. Just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
For another 2 years.
See ya.
Yeah. So we're talking about Suicide Squad today. We just saw that yesterday, and I didn't think it was gonna be any good, and it really wasn't. But it was better than I thought it would be. I had some fun with parts of it anyway, which is more than I thought I would be able to say. So.
Yeah, basically the same for me.
Yeah, like this was basically like if you don't know the story, it's just I really couldn't tell you what this was about. Like honestly, you have to go see it for yourself to try to glean some kind of meaning from this. And like basically what I could tell is a bunch of the supervillains are brought together, and then they have to go fight some kind of monster, like an evil spirit of some kind that's possessing an archaeologist or something like that. And that's the best I can tell what this is about. So, yeah, I got the Joker is in there, and yeah. And Batman's in there once or twice. And, overall, it was just that they went back and re-edited this, as you know, and it's a mess because of that, and it's a complete mess. Like, they just feel very rushed at times, and you can tell they really cut and pasted a lot of things together. You know, what did you think about it?
Yeah, and it basically, it's a pretty popular movie, so most of you probably know what it's about, but it's basically DC's version of Guardians of the Galaxy, their attempt at Guardians of the Galaxy. And, I guess I basically kind of came away with the same thing, is that, there were just a lot of, go ahead, I'm spacing right now.
It was like Guardians of the Galaxy. It was different. It felt raw, it felt a little bit dirtier, like it had more, it was different. It didn't feel like a Marvel movie, which is good. It shouldn't feel like that. And at the same time though, it was so sloppy, and it just felt so messy. Especially the one part to me that struck out with that, especially with those, and then when they had the part with that monster, the alien monster thing, it possessed, it was trying to get its brother or whatever, out of the thing, and then it's gonna sound horrible the way I describe it, 'cause I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna do my best.
Basically, let me try and summarize it a little bit. Basically, they're trying to the main I guess you can say Amanda Waller and everything. Neither of us have really read the comics and everything, so excuse us if we sort of mess up the source material a little bit. But Amanda Waller is basically trying to get together all these bad guys and everything, and sort of form sort of fighting fire with fire. If there's bad guys, they'll have bad guys to fight against them. And one of the people that she's thinking about having is this woman archaeologist who's possessed by a demon of some sort, or a Mayan god or whatever.
And that seemed like a stupid idea, but I guess I'm not a high-ranking government official, so I can't really talk about that, because I don't know all the mental processes that go into that.
Well, if you're a high-ranking government official, then more. Okay, never mind.
And then they do this, and that the thing this monster can possess her apparently at will. Is someone calling me seriously?
Pause it. Forget
it. I'm just gonna put this over here.
Live TV, folks. Live TV.
Yeah, the monster it can possess this girl at will, right? And then she has it goes crazy, obviously, because it's a horrible alien Mayan goddess, something like that, and then it tries to get its brother, this other similar monster, and possesses a bunch of people and kills some people in a train station. This all happens in 2 minutes of screen time, very fast. I didn't know what was going on. Then an hour later, they flash back and show you and explain what exactly happened, the process. They were bringing her to this place, she got free, and then all this other stuff happened. And it's so poorly edited, it doesn't even feel like a finished movie. And
that's the thing, they're trying to make it into the way that they sort of formulate it. It seems like they're trying to make it into this big plot twist, or this big sort of turnaround that completely changes everything, but it really doesn't really do anything except explain stuff that should have been done already.
It's not even a plot twist. I could glean what it was trying to say, but it was just confusing. And then they went back later and they explained it in more detail for no reason, an hour later, just randomly later in the film for no reason.
Yeah, my guess is that I'm guessing, but my thing is that it wasn't originally supposed to be a plot twist, but they decided to do it anyway because they realized that they were kind of they had messed up the storyline.
And Shyamalan that. Yeah. Put a plot twist in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the supposedly the main characters of the story and everything. We have this guy, and I've forgotten most of their names, to be honest.
Deadshot.
Deadshot and everything, played by Will Smith and everything. We have Harley Quinn, who most people do know, and everything, played by
Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, she's Harley Quinn, the this year's pinup model, Harley Quinn. Like
Yeah.
you know,
And
very tight fitting. Like yeah, for some reason, like doing battle like in a short sleeve shirt and like really short like underwear like shorts. You know, like apparently that's good enough battle armor for this movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, and I mean, you know, and neither of their characters are really like that great, you know, on paper and everything, and you know, and you know, she, as you say, you know, she's basically sort of like shown as like a pinup model and everything, and Will Smith's character is sort of like given a generic backstory. You know, he's a bad guy hitman, but he has a soft spot for his daughter and all the other stuff.
Amazing! I'm amazed that someone has a soft spot for their child.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before in a movie.
Yeah, he's living up to the standards of Ant-Man.
Like the other characters in the movie are like there's the boomerang guy, and then there's this Mexican guy with tattoos who can make fire in his hand.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool, but they're given no real backstory. There's no real like characterization of them for most of the movie.
Yeah,
the Mexican guy gets a little bit way later on, like randomly in the middle of the movie for no reason. But then like other than that, like you know, none of them really give much backstory. They're fun to watch, but there's not really a lot of depth to them.
And then there's Croc. The Killer Croc.
He was pretty good. I liked him. I liked him more than I thought I would.
Even though he like didn't do anything almost.
There was that random Asian girl who like didn't do anything. She just stood around with a katana.
Yeah.
That was another very poor editing choice. This movie. Like at the climax, right before they go to their climax, there's this Asian girl with a katana. And then, like, one of the guys, Joel Kinnaman's secret agent character, he's like, oh, the Asian girl, like, she could just talk to her katana because it has the spirit of her dead husband or something like that. And that's all it is. It never brought up again. It's just a random thing, a backstory that takes 2 seconds. And you can tell they cut out a lot more with her in it, probably. Yeah. You know they did. And, like, it's just such a rushed and poorly, you know, explained thing. It's like, oh, well, all right, she could talk to her dead lover in a katana. Cool. Would never mention that again. Fucking.
Yeah.
You know.
And then there's that random like I guess Native American guy or whatever he is and everything. He's just kind of there. And
this just sounds like we're making this up off the top of our heads now. This is so random. You know, it sounds like we're just making stuff up now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I forgot that guy was even in the movie until we mentioned it later on.
Yeah,
I didn't even know who they were supposed to be.
I don't. I don't know either. I think he was basically supposed to be like the guy that sort of shows, oh, we are willing to kill off people if we have to and everything. Like, okay,
we're gonna kill off this guy. Who was that? I don't know. You won't remember the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And like no, but I with all that said, like I did like a lot of the characters. Like I liked you know, Will Smith was a lot of fun to watch. Margot Robbie was excellent in spite of the script that was trying to turn into a sex symbol. She was really good despite that shit. Good lines.
And I think that sort of shows like their abilities as actors and everything. You know, the fact that they were able to sort of rise above the source material and everything.
And the other characters, in spite of the fact that they weren't really that well developed, I still enjoyed watching them. Like the boomerang guy was fun, and the Mexican gang member dude, he was pretty cool. You know, they weren't really given much to do, but they were kind of fun. They were fun. You could tell they were enjoying it. So
Yeah, it also would have been better if they had like not just like given them more developed as individuals, but also if they were given more interactions and everything. There's only like one or two scenes and everything where they're having like actual interactions with one another and everything, and it's sort of like, and I mean they're not mad and everything, but they kind of like.
I guarantee you in the special edition we're going to see like at least like 10 or 15 minutes more scenes where they were interacting and they cut out in the movie for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like then like, oh yeah, we really need to fit in the young adult super magic realism like wizardry fighting that we had in most of the movie. It's way more important than the character development, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
And for those of you who don't know, I mean basically and I mean I don't have like the full story behind it and everything, but supposedly what happened is that after Batman and Superman came out and everything had flopped, there was this like idea at Marvel or whatever.
DC.
Sorry, DC Marvel.
That's it. You can't see in this video anymore.
I'm kind of failing at this, but there was this idea at DC and Warner Brothers that it was too dark and everything. It was like so we need to like re-edit this so we can you make it a little bit more lighthearted or a little bit more whatever.
Yeah, and that's usually the sign of an amazing movie. But I'm surprised it didn't work out in this one. Like I thought that'd be the recipe for success. Go back and reshooting it after.
Yes, going back and quickly doing quick edits and everything because you're insecure with it.
You can tell, like the way this movie is re-edited when you see it is like it's like stuck together with like paper clips and like cheap glue, like from the Walgreens or something like that. Like it really doesn't come off that seamless. It doesn't come off like a very well constructed film.
Yeah,
you can tell they went back and messed it up a lot.
It's especially bad at the beginning and everything. They're just really like throwing in like every single little thing they can and everything, and just like trying to cram in all those backstories and everything. And they do have like. I think we were talking a little bit about the soundtrack and everything.
Yeah,
they have like 1,000,001 songs in the movie and everything, and a lot of
they were good songs, but they were such, they're classic rock songs, and it was really just kind of taken away a little bit because all you know is like a new song every single scene. It was starting to feel like a YouTube playlist, just like put into a movie. That's really what it felt like in the first act. So it was weird.
Yeah, it didn't really match any of the scenes I was matching up with.
I was like, oh, like the first one, like I heard it was, I think it was "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rolling Stones, and like that was, it was pretty cool to hear that. But then like every single scene, it was another song. It was like starting to get very distracting after a while,
Yeah, I remember when they were showing like Killer Croc or whatever they were playing Fortunate Son and everything, but which side it just didn't match up with what was going on and everything. I don't know why, but and there were a lot of ones like that and everything. It was just strange.
Well, it's been 10 minutes. We should probably talk about Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. Yeah, speaking of re-editing and taking out scenes, Jared Leto.
I forgot. We bring him up in the first 10 minutes. They cut out most of the scenes.
Yeah, and he. Look! He had a lot to live up to. He had to live up to Nicholson. He had to live up to Ledger and everything else like that and everything. And I mean, his performance, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was way better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
The trailers and all that.
Yeah, that being said, it was decent. That being said, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. There were some times where he got a little bit annoying and everything, and he seemed like, I was saying it earlier, he seemed like he was sort of neutered almost and everything, like he was trying to be like crazy and off the wall and everything, but it seemed like he was sort of typical bad guy, crazy and everything.
I think they left in his most mediocre scene. I think they cut out most of the scenes he might have been actually good in or something like that. Because like you could tell, like he really was putting his all into this performance. I don't like the look of the character at all. It looks kind of like a weird, like Hot Topic-y, like a goth costume or something like that. Yeah. And like as it went on, like it grew on me a little bit. Like I like the idea of this kind of modern, like black leather gangster sort of Joker. It's a weird take. It could be interesting. His face looked like some kind of CGI, like fish or something like that. It was a weird, like, looking face. You can tell it was kind of digitized in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, the acting itself, like, he was trying a little bit too hard to be Heath Ledger at some points. But, like, he just didn't really have, like, the charisma, like, the leadership I want from the Joker. He just felt like it's kind of a weird, like, he was too crazy in a way, like, almost. Like, the Joker always, he's crazy, but he's like a leader. You can tell he's a leader, and he's always in control.
Yeah.
With this character, he just felt like he was kind of randomly psychotic, and like he just didn't really, have that kind of pull, the leadership to him.
Yeah, exactly, and you can sort of tell that. Like, and again, I don't want to compare him too much like the other previous incarnations and everything, but I will just say that when Nicholson was playing the Joker in '89 Batman and everything, he really kind of dominated every scene he was in and dominated the film in a lot of ways, and obviously Ledger was obviously like that in the Dark Knight.
Heath Ledger was basically the whole pull of that movie.
Yeah,
Batman was like a side character at some point.
Exactly, and I mean, and again, and both of them were like supporting roles and everything, and the Joker's role in this one was obviously a lot smaller and everything, but at the same time, it would have been nice if he had been a little bit more in command of the scene.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and Leto has said that there's apparently enough footage that they cut out to make a whole nother movie, and I'm sure if they just cobble that together, I'm sure it'll flow much better than this, right? I'm sure it'll be like if they just cobble together cut out footage, I'm sure that'll be great.
Yeah, and some of that will probably appear later on, and because obviously there are going to be sequels to this and everything, and
that's the whole thing. Like it did seem like it was setting up a sequel. It didn't really feel like it was just like a lot of it was like, all right, we're going to have a sequel later, so you can see more of the Joker and see what the government organization that Amanda Waller has is doing, all that stuff. It's going to be. The climax was like a lot of just CGI and like the alien monster thing where that was ridiculous. It's like they're so stupid. Like it's worse than like a Mortal Kombat like CGI thing like the '90s or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit of context. Like in the movie, when the Mayan guys take over, whatever, and they start forming armies out of people. They basically like kidnap ordinary people and turn them into like these like swamp monster things and everything, and they just kind of look dumb, and it doesn't really make any sense. What does like Mayan people have to do with like swamp monster things? And it just kind of it's odd.
Yeah, when I saw that first shot of like the flashback of the archaeologist girl like hunting and finding that temple, that'd be a great horror movie like on its own.
Yeah,
like, I'd love to see that like in the whole movie, but then like no, it's just like a 5-minute thing in this movie. It's very crammed in there very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And did you notice that when she was possessed or whatever, she was moving really weird. Yeah, she was like moving back and forth.
I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. The graphics were horrible. It felt like some kind of like bad computer game or something like that. Like it really was much worse. Like even the Ghostbusters movie this year had way better special effects than this. It was like like I know people complain about the special effects in that, and they were kind of corny, but this one just way worse. It's horrible in this movie. Yeah, like the climax, just like a, feels like any other like young adult like magical, kind of fight scene movie. Like really does.
Yeah.
It's not really that interesting.
Yeah, and that was actually sort of like another issue I had is like, I mean, the action scenes. I mean, they weren't bad and everything, but I mean, they were kind of generic and everything. But they were like, because everything was like shot in the dark and everything, it seemed like it was almost difficult seeing a lot of what was going on. Everything, it was either in the dark or there was like rain or.
And that's the problem a lot of action movies have. They just go too dark. They're too afraid to let you actually see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's dark. It has to be ominous and scary, and like you can't just actually see what every fight scene and the moves.
Yeah.
It's awful. And and like what else is there to say? Is there anything else to say about this movie? Like, there's a lot. It felt like a lot longer than it actually was.
Yeah.
Very, the pacing was just so off. Like the beginning was so fast and quick cutted, and then the ending was just a lot of drawn out scenes, and it really was not very well paced. It felt like it was dragging on.
I can't think. I'll probably think of something later on after the movie's over. But
there was a lot of just random stuff in this movie. Just like came and went.
Yeah. It does get like a little bit. I mean, like it gets like it's really bad at the beginning with all the cutting and pasting and everything. It gets like a little bit better later on and everything. But there's still like a lot of like random things that happen, like that thing in the middle where there's like supposed to be like a big plot twist of sort and everything, but it's really not and everything. And then there's and I mean, there are also just like some of the characters do some things which are kind of weird. Actually, that was actually one thing that sort of bothered me a little bit. And again, I haven't read the source material. There's probably some backstory behind it that I don't know about, but it seemed a little weird that they have these like big Mayan things that are trying to like dominate the world and do whatever, but they have basically their way of destroying these Mayan guys is to bring in a sharpshooter, Harley Quinn, a guy who's good at like arson. And
a guy who throws a
boomerang and like robs people, a robber and a killer croc.
Like Batman exists in this world. He could have helped you out, but I guess like the best idea was to get these jokers and just put them in there.
I actually was gonna. That was another thing I was gonna complain about and everything. It's like Batman does like make a cameo and I mean and it is Ben Affleck actually doing it.
Yeah.
And but it's like but at the same time I sort of can't complain about that because quite frankly you would have to complain about every other like DC or Marvel movie out there.
The Flash was in it for a second.
Yeah, the Flash is in there and everything. Spoiler alert! And but it's but at the same time, then you would have to look at all the other Marvel movies and thinking, wow, the Hulk is having a lot of difficulty. Where's Captain America? Or Captain America's having difficulty. Where's Iron Man?
I think this is a legitimate complaint in this movie, though. It's a weird thing to do. It's a weird way to do this.
Well, yeah,
because they bring it up in the beginning. One of my favorite stupid parts of this movie was in the beginning. They were having that whole conference with all the generals and all that.
Yeah.
Like the one guy's like, there's all these other problems like poverty and the war that we can fix. And what if the next Superman is a terrorist? Like that's like some kind of Fox News like propaganda. It's a weird thing to say. Like why is that at the forefront of your mind? Why should we trust you to lead our country? It's a weird thing to worry about.
I was just sort of thinking, like, I mean, it's fine to think about contingency plans and everything else. Like, I'm not necessarily like attacking that, but my thinking is that if you are going to have a contingency plan like that, why is it that you? Again, I mean, like, what I'm sort of getting at is that they were sending all these guys out there to destroy these these big like monsters or whatever, but really, I mean, you really only need like, I mean, first of all, I'm not even sure if like any of them would necessarily be equipped to deal with something like that and everything. You would need like a Superman or like Wonder Woman or whatever.
The only one who would be is maybe Deadshot, but even then, like, all he has is a gun. Like, there's no guarantee that.
And the fire guy.
And the fire guy too,
And that's sort of the thing. Like, if you are to use any of them, I mean, you would only really need like one or two of them and everything. You really sort of don't need the entire team because only like one or two of them is really like equipped to actually handle something like that.
I'm sure I missed a part of this, but it's like most of the plot, they caused the problem themselves by bringing in that girl with the possession thing. They caused their own problem. They made their own problem. That's the thing.
No. I mean, I had an issue with that too and everything, which is like, I mean, I guess that's sort of.
Like, she was supposed to be one of the good guys. She was not the bad guy at first. She was brought in with the rest of them as a good guy, and then she turned bad later because obviously she would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was trying to justify that in a certain way and everything because it's supposed to sort of say, you know, you're our own worst enemy and all the other stuff and everything. Maybe in like a better movie that probably would have worked out better, but because this movie it has so many other problems with it and everything, it's kind of hard to.
I think there was an explanation at the beginning, like they brought them in for something, but then like basically they made their own problem worse by bringing in that girl. So it's a moot point, no matter what they brought them in for at first. Like that girl made everything worse. She was the villain at the end. So like
yeah, I guess that's sort of supposed to be like if there's any like political message in this movie, it's basically like, you know, the government is his own worst enemy and it causes like a lot of his own problems and everything, which is like I guess is an okay message, but it's kind of like it's not projected very well.
That really did change my whole view on the political landscape watching Suicide Squad. I was like, wow, I really get it.
Yeah,
now.
well, after watching Suicide Squad,
I really get it now. I'm filled with an understanding of like what the political climate of the world now because I saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's really, like, in spite of all that, like, I did enjoy several parts of it. I thought were actually kind of fun to watch for how stupid and entertaining they were. You know, it's ridiculous. It was funny, you know.
And that's the thing about the movie. I mean, there are some good performances in there and everything. And it's like even though a lot of it is like generic and everything, you know, it sort of gets you through and everything. I will say one thing, and I know Larry hasn't seen Batman vs Superman. I unfortunately did. And I actually didn't think Batman vs Superman was the worst thing in the world, but it did have like a lot of problems. I will say for this movie is better than that movie, and it was I think the big there are a couple reasons, but I think one of the big reasons is that with like Batman vs Superman, there were just like so many things within it that were just wrong, and it felt like you felt like really dumb after seeing it in a lot of ways and everything. But with at least with this movie, there were definitely some problems with it and everything. But I mean, they were more sort of like standard bad movie problems and everything. Like you can basically like get through it and everything. And you know, thinking back on it, it's like, okay, it wasn't great, but it was.
I think it's refreshing that the superhero genre, for all its work, is reverting back to the early and mid '90s, like just complete schlock and camp like this. It's just ridiculous, and like it really is just through their own doing. DC did this themselves by going back and meddling with this and just like touching it up because they were so afraid that the fans would hate it and all that. And like really, you know, the comic book movie is crumbling in on itself. That's what's happening here. You know, it's destroying itself. The art form. You know.
Don't you think it's ironic? In the movie, the government is trying to, basically trying to create a complete force to protect itself from bad things and everything, but it ends up being its own worst enemy. So in other words, the government is basically a metaphor for DC. In and of itself, it's like a meta thing, a subconscious meta thing.
You know what? Disregard the rest of the video. This is a great movie. Really points out the whole thing.
It's a what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a meta commentary.
It's like its own, the Colbert Report or something like that. It's like purposely making fun of itself and everything.
I don't know. I mean, like what they need to do is just it's an unstoppable monster because they have to get the ratings and the money and they have to do what pleases the fans, which is never going to create good art if you're just doing what it is to please the fans and nothing else. You know, and that's important. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're going to create crap that no one's going to like. And like some people did apparently like this. I can see why. You know, they had some entertaining parts, but it also got it got panned by a lot of people. So
I think basically there are a bunch of things they can do, but I think one big thing is that they need to sort of learn to take its time. And like with the Marvel, the Marvel movies are hit and miss and everything, and you know they're certainly not perfect and everything, but they did allow They did allow some time for characters to develop either within their own movies or even within the Avengers or the ensemble cast and everything. And I think they need to sort of do more of that, allow it to sort of calm down a little bit and, explain themselves and, and that way they'll be able to tell a coherent story and everything as opposed to just like, cramming everything
I'm
in there.
hoping Ben Affleck is going to do the next Batman movie, and he's actually a talented director. Like, he knows what he's doing with movies and all that. Like, he's not just the guy who's doing it for, the company and the money and all that. So hopefully the studio does not mess with what he does. Hopefully we can finally get a good movie out of that in the DC universe, And the Wonder Woman looks okay. I mean, I'm not terribly interested. It looks like a decent movie from the trailer.
We saw the trailer before the movie started and everything. It looked,
so maybe there is hope for DC in the future. Like, I don't know. But like hopefully like Ben Affleck is really what I'm hinging it on. Hopefully like he can really pull off a good movie and really make something good, like without the studio meddling with it too much, like interfering too much. He's got such a pull in Hollywood. Hopefully they wouldn't do that to him.
Basically and everything. Just sort of like again allow time. Give it space.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of sums up Suicide Squad. Really, you have anything else you want to add at the last minute? Or...
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Basically, just to sort of like sum it up, like I mean, I think more than likely, like most of you have pretty much decided whether you're going to see it or not and everything. You know, hopefully, it just kind of like gives you, if you're on the fence or whatever, it just sort of helps you out a little bit and everything. I mean, I guess the main thing I would basically say, you know, whenever when I was you know on Freaks and everything and doing my reviews and everything, I'd always sort of give like a commentary about you know whether you should see it or not and everything. I would basically say if you're, you know, if you like the superhero movies and everything and are really into them and everything, you should probably go see it just for the, you know, just for the heck of it and everything. If you're like sick of them and you're looking for something new and different and everything, you're not gonna want to see it. But I mean, I would basically just sort of sum it up by saying, you know, it's not like the worst thing you can do with your time and everything. It's like decent or whatever. You may want to wait until it's out of theaters and everything and see it, you know, on Netflix or whatever, but it's like it's okay, but just sort of like have lowered expectations.
It seems like something you'd see on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. Honestly, I can see that's such a weird, poorly put together movie.
I won't drag it down to like it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's like I mean sci-fi. I mean Jesus.
I thought you know it was one of those so bad it was good things almost. Like it was just so it was a mess. It was poorly put together, but there was enough entertaining parts and lines in it to make me actually enjoy watching it at some parts. So. I wouldn't say like it's something that I regretted seeing. It's just that it's such a mess. It was so crazy that like I could barely even describe it in this video without like sounding like I'm just ad-libbing on the top of my head and making stuff up. That's not a good sign for a movie. Yeah, and you know I wouldn't say it's a great movie. It's not going to be on my end of the year best of the list, but you know it was entertaining for what it was. It was bad, but it was also funny. It was entertaining to watch. And this has been Cinema Freaks Live. I'm Larry.
I'm Colin.
All right, take care. Watch the movie if you want. See ya.